Evening, folks. Welcome to the Cork Hurling Pod. Um, you know the score now. It's a podcast for just talk about Cork Hurling, run by a Cork Hurling fan for Cork Hurling people. I'm recording this the Tuesday after the Kilkenny Cork League game, so I'm going to review in that game. So, as always, I say at the start, as always, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, recommend to your friends, comment, get involved in the debate, do whatever you can. I welcome all debate. I'm delighted to hear from you, and I'm delighted to hear the feedback, whether it's good or bad. And I'm delighted the comments so far. People have been very encouraging, so I really appreciate it. So if you just get it out there, it really helps. So in this podcast now, I'll split up in three sections like I usually do. So the first section I'll talk about the match, basically. So what we learned, like you can learn something from every game. Whether you win by 5 goals or you lose by 5 goals, you can always learn something. And what we have to work on, basically. Like, there's no perfect performances out there. There's no perfect teams there. There's always something you need to work on. That's your job as a coach, is to find those things and work on them. And then the second part of the podcast, we just go over the players' performances. I'll go over 1 to 15, go over 1 to 20, whatever, like I usually do when I talk about team performance. I'll talk about the players. And then the last section, then I will do just a bit on the county. The leagues are starting this weekend. The county leagues are starting this weekend, and I'll just touch on a couple of the games. Watch out for, and maybe which ones to go to if you're thinking about going to some of them. And I would encourage you, get out and support your local clubs. Because most of the club teams now, if you have a hurling team in your club, they probably will be playing this weekend. Because all the county leagues are on, and most of the division leagues will be on too. They usually run them parallel to each other. So if it's hurling in the county section, it'll probably be hurling down your division as well. So your club team will be out. So get out and support them. I encourage you to do it. No matter what the weather's like. That's what it is. Support your club. Right, so let's start with the game. So I was up there. I was at it. I really enjoyed it. I actually really enjoyed this game. It was a real fight. It was a real battle. Exactly what you were expecting when you go to Kilkenny. And like when I was up there the Saturday night, and when I was walking over to the ground then on the Sunday, it was real blustery and wet and miserable. Basically, it was miserable conditions. And I was thinking, this is going to suit Kilkenny down to the ground. Like, they will love this. They'll be relishing this now. And I was just like, great. This is great. We're going to get a real test today now. Like, I said, this is really going to test the Cork fellas, their mentality, their toughness. Are we ready for this? Because usually, we don't have a good record in Nolan Park. Of course we don't, because Kilkenny are a great team and they take great pride in their home record. But usually when you see those weather conditions, then you kind of wince. You do kind of wince as a Cork fan, saying, oh, this won't suit us at all. Like, this won't suit us at all. But we know this is a different team. We know this because we've been to the All-Ireland final the last 2 years. We were unlucky not to get over the line, but we have been to the All-Ireland final the last 2 years, so we are a good team. And this is a different team from what we've had in the last 15 years, let's say. And they were up for the fight, and they were ready for the battle. And we won the fight. We won the battle. That's the most important thing to take out of it. Like, but when they were interviewing Ben O'Connor afterwards, said he was delighted with the performance and all this stuff. The best thing I heard him say was when Donald Grady asked him, what did you take from this game today? He said, the battle, Donald. The battle. He was all for, did we win the battle? Because we were going to have to win battles week in, week out in the Munster Championship and the All-Ireland Series if we make it. It's going to be a battle every step of the way. We have to know, can these guys win battles? And this was just not a little tick in the box to say to the players, hey, we can win these battles. We can go toe to toe with the Kilkennys anytime in their own backyard and beat these guys in the battle. So I was really encouraged by that, and I was delighted. We won the fight, and we won the fight in that game. And we dominated a lot of the game. Like, our backs are outstanding again. I keep saying about them. Our midfield are on top. We just didn't we didn't put them away. We can. We have an arsenal to pile on teams. We didn't. Our forwards were not winning ball. Like, we were dominant all over the field. Like, and after 15 minutes, I was thinking, I looked at the scoreboard, we were 1-1 to 2. Was it 1-1 to 2 points ahead or something? I've written down here. It was 1-2 to 4. And I said, how are we only a point ahead when we've totally dominated them? We just weren't winning the ball in the forward line. So this is what we learned. We can win the fight. We know that now. Like, Pat Ryan was great. When I heard him at an interview there a couple of years ago when he talked about winning the league. He talked about, like, this is another, when the narrative is out there, you want to tick off all the things that don't help the narrative. When people talk about, can you win All Ireland? So he said, oh, we won the league, that's ticked off. Like, we won the Munster Championship, that's ticked off. We won the Under 20 All Ireland, that's ticked off. We won the Minor All Ireland, that's ticked off. You're ticking off all these boxes, and it's helping fight the narrative that you can't get over the line in All Ireland final. And this is just another little tick, this is another little tick saying we can win a fight. We can win a fight against the best fighters out there in their own backyard in dirty conditions. Just another small, I know it's only a league game. We won't read too much into it because it's not like the Kilkenny team of the past. But we can learn things, and we did learn about ourselves that we can win a fight in these conditions, which is great. It's just another tick to the players to say, hey, we can win these fights against anyone out there. So I'm delighted with that. That's the number one thing we learned. We won the battle, as Ben O'Connor has told us. Second thing we learned is we now know what we can get from Barry Walsh, Hugh O'Connor, and William Buckley. Now, they all had their good moments. They all had their inexperienced moments. They had good games. We know I'm going to get to Barry Walsh and Hugh O'Connor, and we know now that William Buckley is a live option in the half-hour line. He's playing corner forward as Roman corner forward all along. And I said when Shane Barrett was suspended, we're going to be lacking someone to kind of knit up the play, to run the ball, to do that work, to be that link man. And in fairness to Buckley, he did his best at it. And he didn't have an outstanding game, but he had a good enough game. And those conditions for a small guy probably won't suit him, but he's definitely able to play in the half-hour line because he ran his man all around the place. He ran Blanchfield all over the field, which is no easy task because Blanchfield is a good player. And we learned with Hugh O'Connor. I thought he had a great game. I'll get to him later on now. We learned about him, that he is ready for intercounty hurling, and who knows where the ceiling is with this guy. It's crazy to think he's only had one intercounty game of hurling before now, which is the under-20 All-Ireland Munster final, and he was against Tipperary, and he was outstanding as well that day. He's no minor hurling behind him. He's no 3 years under-20 behind him. He's playing junior hurling with Newmarket, and that's not a slight Newmarket at all. They're proud of him, and so they should be. But who knows with this guy how good he could be with a year or two inside in the Cork panel. Who knows the ceiling talent-wise with him. I was very impressed with him. And Barry Walsh, we talked about, and I'll get to these guys when I talk about the players, but we now know these three, they're live options. They're ready to get in there. And it brings me to my third point that we learned about panel depth. We know now that the panel depth is serious, which is great. I think it's stronger than last year. There were some guys in the panel last year that I didn't agree with. I didn't think they were going well at club level, and they shouldn't have been in there. But everyone in there now is fighting for their place. They have to fight for their place on the first 15. They have to fight for their place in 26. They have to fight for their place to keep on the panel, which is great. We want fighting every night in training. That drives standards. That drives intensity. That's what we want. That's what the Kilkenny team involved was great with Sheffield and all these guys, because apparently their A versus B games, they were killing each other because they just had brilliant players everywhere. And that's what we want as well. We want that for A versus B games. And these guys are competition in the forward line now. Buckley, Walsh, Hugh O'Connor, and Adam Walsh, and these guys. So I'm delighted with that. We learn what we're going to get from these guys, and that they are ready. The panel depth, we know that's crazy now. And the other thing we learned a bit about leadership. I spoke about this in the preview. I said we're going to have to see, can Hayes be a leader there, and can Connolly be a leader there, because Fitzy won't be able to do it in the forward line on his own, going up to Kilkenny, because we had 3 rookies in the forward line. And we learned that Hayes is ready to step up and be a leader. We knew that already with the guy. But just in case we need to know anymore, we knew that, and we saw it. Because when they scored their goal, their backs were up, their crowd was up, they thought they were going to come gazumpus like they did against Waterford. And who made the next big play? It was Hayes. He won a great ball. It was played down the side into him. He won it. He took on his man. He had the balls to take him on, and he won a free. And we got a score, and we stemmed the tide. That's leadership. That's what we need. Big moments from our big players, and he did it, in fairness to the lad. And it was also Fitzy, of course. Didn't have a great first half. He had a better second half. When we missed the penalty, their backs were up again like they thought the momentum, and straight away he got a great point. Say, hey, let's not panic here. Okay, we missed the penalty. Let's get on with it. They're down to 14. Let's pile on them. He just set the tone straight away, and that's leadership again. But we knew he had leadership with this guy. But I'm just saying with Hayes, it was great to see leadership straight after they scored the goal. He got a point for us, which is great. So yeah, we learned about our panel depth is serious. We learned a bit about leadership. We learned that these guys, the new guys in, the Adam Walshes, the Barry Walshes, Hugh O'Connors, these guys, they're live options now. And we learned we can win a fight, which is great. Right, what we need to work on, what I spotted anyway, and I don't know what the rest of you think, and I'd love to hear your comments about the game. If you're at it or not, we'll all have different. When I watched the game last night, when I was at the game, I thought it was a great game, real fight. And when I saw it last night, then the TV kind of looked like a scrappy game. It's amazing how you'll see it differently, but it was miserable conditions. Now I stress that, it was miserable. I don't know if the TV picked that up at all, but it was like the wind was blowing down the field. There's very strong wind, the gale blowing down there, and it was drizzling and wet. And I got in there early. I thought I was getting in there early. The game was 3:15. I was aiming to get in there by 2:30. Which when I was walking up the road, then there was a load of crowd around. I was walking up the road. I was like, shit, I'm late here, and I was kind of late. I did get in the stand, right, but I didn't get soaked, but I got a bit wet, right. And I had nice seats though. I was on the 45 with the wind, so I was looking right across where the bat was in the second half, basically. Right down top of our half back line. I was looking right across that in the second half, and it was enjoyable. As I say, I liked the game. I much preferred it to the Waterford and Tipperary games. That was a right big battle. Now I wasn't at the Galway game, so I can't compare it to that. But no, I really enjoyed it. Right, what we need to work on, the big thing that's standing out for me again, and I said this at the Tipperary game when I did the game review. And if you haven't listened to my past episodes, please go back and listen to them. There's lots of things you can pick up from them. If you're new to the channel, please go back and listen. There's lots of things discussed. But I said in that Tipperary game, the second half, I was disappointed with our use of the ball. We started lobbing 50-50 balls down the gullies, down the flanks too often in the second half. And I thought our use of the ball again, the last day against Kilkenny, was not good. It was not good. The ball going to the forward line. I don't mind going direct. I love going direct because we get direct ball into these guys in the forward line. We know they will do damage. We know Hayes, Connolly, Barry Walsh, these guys will do damage. But the quality of the ball that was going in was just not good. It was not good. It was too much 50-50 stuff going on. It was too much lobby on top of the man who's defender. Instead of angling the ball or putting the ball in the grass for him to run onto, it was too much 50-50 instead of hitting 60-40 balls. There was too much of that going on, especially in the first half when we worked the ball well out of our backs and we had time in the ball to look up and pick out a guy. And we did that a few times and I was like, no, kill him with this ball now. Put it straight for the forwards advantage, and we weren't doing it. We were just lobbing balls down the field and we were winning nothing inside. The boys were being well beaten in the first half. Like Barry Walsh was quiet in the first half. And Connolly, he won the first ball and went in for the goal, but he won nothing again for the second half. And Hayes was kind of quiet, that we were being well marshalled there. Like we were dominating the game. We were getting no return out of a forward line. And that's twofold. That's down to the ball that's going in, the quality of it, and are they making the right runs inside? It's down to that. It's down to those two things. But I was just disappointed again with the quality of the ball. I just thought we were favouring enough in the forwards for the forwards and put it on their side. Like Shane McGrath had a piece in the RT podcast. I don't really listen to it. I can't stand that guy, that O'Neill guy. He's from Cork, but he's just terrible in it. He's a Sunday game producer. I think he's awful. But I saw a short clip of it. And he was moaning about that there's no small men in GA anymore. And that there's no 50-50 battles anymore. Most teams are using 70-30 balls in favour of their possession-wise. And I was like, geez, we weren't. we weren't hitting 70-30 balls up in Kilkenny. That was because of the conditions as well. And because Kilkenny will put you under pressure. But even when we weren't under pressure in the first half with a few balls, there were bad balls in. And it was the same against Tipperary. And I read the Examiner today. I'm not the only one thinking this, because when I read the Examiner today, Niall O'Leary was interviewed after the game. And he said they discussed at half time that they were disappointed with the ball they were putting in. So at least the players are seeing this, which is encouraging. We need to work on it. We definitely need to work on it. We can put better ball in. I have no problem going direct. But we can put better ball in. Find grass. Find the angle. Have the ball running onto it. Just give him more. Don't be just lobbing these 50-50 balls down on top of him. And a lot of them are unnecessarily high, like 30-40 yard lobs up into the air. And I was like, keep it down. Guys, that quality should be able to arrow the ball in there. It's something we need to work on. At least Niall O'Leary said it. At least they're seeing it, which is encouraging. The second thing we need to work on, our scoring efficiency. So we were dominating the game. We only ended up with 12 points. Now what did we have? 10 scores from 19 attempts in the first half with the wind. It was a very strong wind. We were 2 goals up at half time, and I was thinking we're in trouble here now. I said we're going to need goals to get out of this. And we got the goals. We got the 2 goals, and we needed the 2 goals. First goal we had really stemmed, like it gave us a lead, because they were always going to eat into it with the wind. They were always going to eat away at us. But we just gave us that breathing space at the first goal. And then the second goal killed the game, brought us 5 up, and we still went back to 3. Brought it back to 3, so it was still in the line at the end, but we should have been out the gate in that game. There's one reason for that as well. I actually don't mind it. I encourage it. We were going for goals. And I'm a mad hungry bastard for goals. I don't mind saying it. Goals win games. These 2 goals won us the games. So there was a lot of time there was points on, but we were going for goals. And I don't mind that. I actually encourage it. I want my team going for goals. I want us going for goals. So there was a guy behind me in the stand was giving out in the second half like that we weren't taking our points. And we should be just keep ticking over, scoreboard ticking over, because we had a lead. We were trying to keep them at bay, and he was saying, why aren't we taking our points? And I could understand what he was saying. I could understand it. But at the end of the day, this is a league game at the same time. So work on getting your goals, because we're going to need goals. We're going to need them next Saturday night, because Limerick will arrow over 30 points any day of the week, sometimes when they're in form. So you're going to need goals to stay apace with them. And we are trying to work goals, which is great to see. And some of our execution fell down, but that's what we need these league games for, to work on that. So I don't mind that our scoring efficiency wasn't great, because I thought we were just going for goals, and I want that. I want to go for goals. The other, so it's quality ball we need to work on, scoring efficiency, and lazy freeze. The lazy freeze, the stupid freeze, the ones I all bang on about. I counted 4. I counted 4 ones that should not have been given away, and it was bad tackling or lazy tackling or careless tackling. It was a Cormac O'Brien gave away one in the 6th minute. Straight away, Fitzy gave away another one in the 7th minute. And William Buckley gave away 2. He gave away 2 in the second half, in the 50th minute and 57th minute. They were bad tackles. He's a small guy. He's going to have to work on his tackle technique. The first one, especially over by the far side, and for me, the man tried to charge through him. He just pulled him down like there was no need because Fitzy was coming over. It was going to be a 2-on-1. And it was just like, don't make that. And the man hit the free over, of course. I was like, that was a stupid free to give away. So I'm always looking after lazy frees. I want us to be disciplined. I want us to keep working our tackles. You're not going to avoid frees totally. Sometimes you're going to have to foul because they might be getting in behind you. Some frees are not frees, they're just bad decisions by the referee, and some frees are just unlucky. But it's those sloppy tackles are the ones that, that I'd be looking at and say, that's a bad tackle now, that was a high tackle, that was lazy. Those are the kind of ones that we had for them. So, I don't know, is that too much for you? I don't know, or is that about right? But anyway, yeah, the lazy frees. Right, let's get to the players. So let's start with Paddy in goal, number 1. I was delighted for him. I was happy with him. He had a few shaky moments. There's no point saying otherwise. But like I said in the preview, though, all we wanted out of this guy was for him to go up there and not have a nightmare, and the manager to turn around and say he's not ready. That's what I didn't want, because then we wouldn't have seen him getting game time for the next year or two. I want this guy getting game time because I think he's better than Patrick Collins. So he had a few ropey moments, but that's just down to experience, really. He would never have played in a game that big in front of 15,000 people, I'd say. And it was slippery conditions. So I'm happy with him. And I was delighted, like you could all say, my Cork debut went up to Kilkenny and won. We hadn't won a game there since 1978 or something, like a league game. So he'll always have that, and good on him. And I was delighted for him. He has a few things to work on. Of course, the goalkeeping coach should be going after him with this. They should be looking at this and looking after these things. But like I always say, I split up my goal into 3 sections. The aspects of goalkeeping boil down to 3 things. So it's your shot stopping, ball handling, your puck out selection, and it's your puck out execution. Can you pull out the puck outs? So let's get to the first one. His shot stopping is fine. He stopped one good shot. I liked that he was on his knees and he just pushed it out. The goal, I actually don't mind. That was fine. I wouldn't have much major qualms about him. That goal, I don't know, many people stopped it. Maybe some people might think he should have stopped it. I wouldn't be that harsh on him, to be honest. But his shot stop is fine. And his handling, he did it too. Shaky moments, especially the first one. God, in the first half, the one he kind of tried to pass across the square and he ended up hitting short. I don't know what happened. Did he get? I was down the far side for me. I tried to look at it again on TV to see did he get hooked or what happened, or did someone get a slap in it? God, I don't know how it didn't end up in the net. I was just like, how did that stay out? Maybe he's just a lucky general. Who knows? You need that bit of luck. But it stayed out, and if it went in, we'd probably been like, oh, he's not ready. And we mightn't have seen him again for another year, which would have been exactly what I didn't want. Thank God the ball didn't go into the back of the net. Who was it? I can't remember which Kilkenny get raced in. And he had a pick up in the second half, right, that he got lucky with again. He fumbled the pickup, and I thought the Kilkenny guy was going to pull on it, but he just missed it, and he got to pick up then again the second time. Kilkenny guy missed it, so he had those 2 ropey moments with his handling. But I just put that down to experience, because I've never seen him do stuff like that for Father O'Neill's, because he's usually ultra efficient in his handling. But that's just probably experience. It was his first game. We've got to make allowances for this, so I have no problem with that. And he got away with it. He was a lucky general. Good man. His puck out selection, it was fine. It was very good. I only picked out one that I wasn't happy with. And that was in the first half. That was the one after Cormac O'Brien gave away a free. And he went for the kind of quick puck out. They shot, I can't remember if they put it over or not. But he went to hit Fitzy. And he drilled it. Fitzy was marked, and there was 3 guys waiting for the break. He drilled it into a trap. He did, and Fitzy didn't win it. He fouled Malloy, the wing back. And they scored from the free. It was one of those 2 sloppy frees in the 6th minute and 7th minute. He drilled that ball into a 4-1. That was the only one I wasn't happy with. The rest of his puck outs are fine. His puck out execution, his striking. The goal at the end, let's not forget, it was he put the ball in around the house. Now, how many times you see goalies or players trying to put in a long ball and drop it short on top of D because they're afraid to hit it too long? If you go long with a ball, you've got to get it in the house, get it in the square. And that's what he did. So good on him. That was a good strike. He dropped it in the square, just about in the square now, but he got it in the square. He did not leave it short. When you go long, we want it in around the house. That's where you get your goal. We drop it on top of the D. Don't be conservative. And he drilled it in there, and good on him. The other one, he put one out over the line in the second half, right? One puck out over the line. It was great catching Barry Walsh, but he put it out over the line, and that's a big no-no, especially when games are on the line and the pressure's on. You can't be ballooning the ball out over the line. You got to give us something to fight for. And the third one was, things I always watch for. I didn't count the goalie level anyway. When you're going short or for the 30-yard pucks, your backs, you have to drill the ball into their hands. Like at the level of intercounty now, you have to be at that level where you're putting the ball straight into their hands. Don't be hitting it towards their ankles. And he did it in the first half. Now Owen Downey, they got a point out of it in the 12th minute. He put a crossfield ball to Owen Downey and he hit it at his feet. Now, Owen Downey should have controlled it. He should have killed the ball in his hand, but he missed it. And then behind him, and the Kilkenny guy got it, stuck over the bar. But that ball should have been in Owen Downey's hand. And he'll know that. And hopefully the goalkeeping coach, William Began, will know that. And they'll be just saying, hey, back yourself, drill into his hand, drill into his paw. That's the level we expect at inter-county level. And he had another one in the second half. Just at the death, last 4 or 5 minutes. It was just a simple 10-yard pass to Robbie O'Flynn, and he put it at his feet. There was no one on Robbie, so Robbie was able to pick it up and run out with it. But we don't want balls going to people's feet like that. We want it straight into their hands. Because I remember, Jesus above Ennis, I can't remember, was it the championship or what? I can't remember, was it a championship league game, but I remember Ger Collins, or Patrick Collins, pucky ball to Tommy O'Connell, a sharp puck out to Tommy O'Connell, and he hit his ankles. He pucks to his ankles, and Tommy miscontrolled it. And sure, Tony Kelly was in them in a heartbeat, turned them over, stuck it over the bar. Like, that ball should have been in Tommy O'Connell's hand. I've always been thinking since this level, he should be drilling the ball into their hands. Like, Tommy miscontrolled it. Tommy should have, of course, he should have controlled it. But like, just take out that room for a mistake and put the ball in his hand. And once Tony Kelly got the score then through work, where it was, the Clare crowd were up on their feet. I was like, come on, put the ball into his hand. So that's the same for Paddy O'Sullivan. But he did well, and I was delighted with him. And good on him. Cornerback Sean O'Donoghue, how he didn't get man of the match is he's just beyond me. He was outstanding. Now, Niall O'Leary was brilliant for about 40 minutes as well. And then, but geez, the last 15 minutes O'Donoghue had, he's just something else. You know, I'm a big fan of his now, but I just thought he was even better the weekend now. He was brilliant, like. Our backs were brilliant in the first half. They were coming out with ball after ball after ball. And second half, then things were a bit tighter. It was more packed, but sure, he was outstanding. Especially when the game was on the line last 15 minutes. Jesus, there was no stopping him. He just come out with ball after ball after ball. And he's cool out in the ball now. He's very calm. Like, he'll get it off. He'll get it off safely. He'll work it out. You know, what a player, like. What a player we have here. And what a player we have, number 4, in Niall O'Leary, who was also outstanding. I just can't believe O'Donoghue didn't get man of the match instead of Brian Hayes. At least Niall O'Leary got the GA.E player of the week. At least he was recognised. But Jesus, for me, O'Donoghue was the man of the match. As simple as. I always said in the match preview that it was great that they were putting Niall O'Leary and Sean O'Donoghue in next to Darragh O'Leary just to put a bit of experience around them. But we're at the stage now with Sean O'Donoghue and Niall O'Leary. We know what we're going to get. We know they're going to be outstanding. But we know they won't last forever. So, like, what's next? Like, when these guys go, should we start developing guys now? Like, I know it'll be tough on Darragh O'Leary to put inexperienced guys in around them, but like, we know those two guys are going to be outstanding. But I'm just worried now when these two guys are gone, because these guys are always so consistent and they're never really injured. Touch wood, they don't get injured, that they're nearly always playing. And are we neglecting what's coming behind them? Like we have Jarmelic in behind him. He's younger at least, but he's a lot of injuries on his body now, so we don't know how long his career is going to last. We have Callan behind him, who's only got another year or two. But after that, then you're talking with Darragh O'Sullivan, who's getting no game time. You're talking with Timmy Wilk, maybe, who's not even on the panel. You know, so when these two guys go, I love that they're playing every week because they're always outstanding. But we know what we're going to get at this stage, so maybe we need to rotate a bit around. I don't know. It's just the one worry I have when these two legends are gone, that we haven't worked out players in behind them. We haven't developed the guys behind them. They're so consistent. They're so good. You just don't want to drop them. And of course, you want to help out Darragh O'Leary, pull back. Let's get to Darragh O'Leary. He did fine. He did well. I'm happy with him. Like the first half there, full forward came out the field and he followed him out. And that suits him down to the ground. He was out in the battle then because he's a real fighter. He's got real character, real battling qualities, and he was very good out there. And he's played centre back for Watergrass Hill when they won the All Ireland, and he played centre back for McKilly when they won the county. So it suits him out to the ground to be going out there. He's happy out there. You know, he can fight away out there. And then the second half then, when they played a bit deeper, he did his job, he did his business. Like, he played well. He got caught coming out with the ball once. I said this about him, that he's going to have to be careful coming out with the ball. He charged out one ball in the second half, and he kind of saw 2-3 big, because inter-county now, the guys are bigger, they'll hit you harder. So there's always a danger getting turned over. But he was coming out with the ball, this was kind of in front of me, and he saw like there was a trap there, 2 or 3 Kilkenny guys were there waiting to smother him. So he put on the brakes and she slipped in his arse. But he managed to get the ball off, and Tommy O'Connell bailed us out of it, really. Tommy O'Connell just jinked it inside and put it back to Paddy O'Sullivan. But you could see he was just going to go charge out with the ball again. And it was just one of those moments he was like, oh no, and slipped in his arse. And he did get caught for the John Donnelly point. He went up with his paw for that. Maybe he should have broke it, I don't know. And you could see himself, he was disappointed that he got it. Like the John Donnelly caught one over his head and stuck it over the bar. But they love that in Kilkenny. They love Donnelly. But no, I was happy with him. We're going to persist with him, and he needs to see Limerick next week. He needs to see Shane O'Brien. He needs to see Aaron Gillan, these guys. He needs a taste of these guys. He needs experience against these guys. So I'll be keeping him in there next week. He's developing, and I'm happy with him. He's a great character. And those conditions, he's not going to let you go down in a fight like that. And that's why I want him in there, because he's a fighter. He's a character. Owen Downey was good. Played well. There was one ball in the first half as well. Like, remember I mentioned back in the Tipperary podcast, that one, I said I was worried about the lack of pace in our half back line. We had two Downies and Mark Coleman, who's not too defensively minded. I said I was worried. So go back and listen if you want to, all these episodes. But there was one ball in the first half, in fairness to him, where Mikey Carey made a long busting run up the field. And Carey's fast boy now, and he was charging up. And in fairness to Owen Downey, he tracked back, he hunted him down, and he turned him over. He did not let him get away, which I was delighted to see. Hopefully he's got that bit of pace about him that he can. If guys do get in behind us, he can make it back. And that was a great flick. That was great dispossession. And like, he had a great run in the first half. Like, what I want from my wing backs, I've said this before, if it's on, go for it. And he had a run in the first half where it was open in front of him, and he went with it, and he went for goal, which is what I like to see. If the goal is on, go for it. So if the run is on for wing back, you go for it, and he did. If the goal is on, you go for it, and he did. Great character. I was happy with him. Surely he's nailed on now as a wing back for Championship. I think he's nailed on now, himself and Coleman. The other wing, Cormac O'Brien. I thought he did alright, like, when I was at the game. I thought he did alright. Now when I kind of watched on TV, I was kind of, yeah, I could see why they took him off. Like, the guy who was on was good now. Liam Moore is good. And he's had a good league so far, and he's a big boy. So he had his hands full. The yellow card was ridiculous. There was no way that was the yellow card. Like, that wasn't even a free. That was not even free. And I like Tyler Walsh. I think he's the best referee out there. But I just thought that was ridiculous. And I put him under pressure then because he was on yellow. So he had his hands full. Like, and like, he needs to play well in every game. And he has been playing well in every game. So this was a bit of a setback for him now. Because if he's to dislodge Coleman or Owen Downey, he has to be brilliant every game, basically. And he wasn't brilliant in this game. It's just tough. He needs to keep up those standards, which is tough on him. But trying to break into that team, I'd say he was disappointed going off, and I was disappointed for him because I'm a big fan of his, and I thought he was going well. Oh, he was disastrous or anything like that. He did fine. Now, I said about him burst out of defence of the ball. That's his real strength, and that he was going to be tested against Kilkenny doing that, and he did get caught. He did get caught in the first half. They overturned him, and he was flat in his arse, and he ended up throwing the ball, gave away a free. But he did get caught coming out, but he did fine. Otherwise, like, I was happy enough for him, but I suppose he has to be more than fine, I suppose. You know, that's what he's probably thinking now. And in fairness to management, they were quick. Like, as I was saying, Moore was getting on top of Cormac O'Brien. And I was like, geez, he's doing well here. Like, and in fairness, they switched him. By spotted it, like, they were quick to move. They switched Owen Downey across on Liam Moore. It was a good management to see. And they brought in Ethan Toomey down to 7. Centre back, Joy said, well, like, this was his first game of the year, let's not forget that. So he's probably bound to be rusty. So considering that, he did very well. And like I was saying about him, I'm worried about his defensive covering sense. If he's playing in the middle, is he going to leave it open or not? And in the first half, in fairness to him, he dropped back a lot. He was conscious to cover because they were against the wind. They were pulling players out the field and they were leaving space in behind because they knew they had to get bodies behind the ball. And he was not going to let the guys in behind be exposed. So he did drop back a few times. And the first long ball they put up, sure, he grabbed it straight out of the air. He's like, don't be coming after us in the air. I'm here all day. I'll pluck those out of the air all day. And then he did, like, when we knew it was going to be a fight, we had to push up on them. He did push up, and that's what he's great at. The management told him push up on us in the forward. We got to chase this, get scores on the board. And sure, he's brilliant at that. When he's involved in the fight, that's his strongest part of his game. When he's involved in the fight. Now, the goal, they did get in behind us. And geez, there was 3 of them in behind us. Geez, when they burst the cover there, we were totally screwed. Now, is that down to him or not? I don't know. It's like, you're not going to keep the middle covered off the whole game. You know, I don't have those expectations. They are going to get in behind you once, twice. You know, so I'm reticent to blame him for that. But geez, he was nowhere to be seen. And there's 3 of them. There wasn't just one guy got behind us. There was 3 of them coming through. There's a wave of them coming through. So we were not going to defend that. But he was just nowhere to be seen. We lost a bad battle. There was a battle for that ball. And we were all involved in it. And we got sucked into it. And we just got caught then when they won it. When they won the battle, they won the breaking ball. They got him behind us. They got the goal then. But I thought he did well. I thought he did fine. It's going to be a real fight between him and Rob Downey for centre back now. A real fight, which is great. Competition place is what we want. Now, midfield, both very good. Let's get to Tommy O'Connell. As I say now, enough is enough. The guy has to start. For me, he has to start now. And fair play to Ben. He is starting him, and he's giving him game time, and I think he will be starting come Championship. And I give credit to Ben for that. No more dicking around. No more fooling around with him. Get him in the team. And I've been saying this since the start of the year. We're at the time now where we have to find a place for him in the team. And he was a real warrior game. He was outstanding against Kilkenny, I thought. Like, it was going to be a fight all day long. And he's exactly the type of guy you want in a fight. He was getting stuck into everything. He was in every rock ball. He's fierce mobile. Jeez, he got around the field a lot now. I was very impressed with him. He dropped back a good bit in the second half to help out and work the ball out. He got a point in the first half. He made one long busting run forward. Like, this guy has to start come championship. There's no more dicking this guy around now. Get him in the team. Get him in the team and get him alongside Tim O'Mahony. Like, we had this before, and this is before my time now. We had it with John Fenton, and we had it with Jerry O'Connor, right? They were sitting on the bench for 2-3 years of Cork before they broke into the team, both of them. Now, John Fenton was before my time, but I do remember Jerry O'Connor was a sub for 2-3 years. And both of them were given their nod. As my old man was talking about John Fenton, said it was the same thing. And both of them were trusted, backed, and given their nod in midfield. They went out to be two outstanding players for us. But let's hope this guy's the same. I'm not comparing with those players because they're legends. But just give this guy his nod now, which Ben is doing in fairness to him, and trust him and start him. And I bet you he'll be excellent for us. I just see it in him. He'll be excellent for us. Those two players, when they got their nod, they'd done their apprenticeship on the bench. When they were trusted and given their nod, there was no holding back. They're outstanding for us. So let's hope it's the same with this guy. It's time now. Tim O'Mahony is brilliant. He'll be automatic come championship. He's one of the guys who does look to run the ball short, which is great. We need to mix the A with the B. And we did run a lot of ball in the second half, which is great to see. And he's one who's doing it a lot. We have to watch a hand pass though. Jeez, we're throwing balls. We are throwing balls left, right, centre. Now that's plight in the game. That's not just a Cork problem. But Jesus, in the second half now, the Kilkenny crowd are roaring about the throwing of the ball. And I agreed with them. We were throwing some ball around. So we have to be on top of that come championship. No silly freeze. Right, the half hour line. Number 10, Fitzy. He had a quiet first half. And he had a better second half then. He ran a pile of ball in the second half and he was going for goals. So I give him credit for that. He had one goal chance in the first half. What a save from Talis. Jesus. Like, the whole crowd are just applauding him. Like, even the Cork crowd and the Kilkenny crowd are just like, what a bloody save. And it was an amazing save. But he's very unlucky not to get the goal there. Just an incredible save. Again, as I say, he showed his leadership when he got that point. I was talking about after missed penalty. And he had a good enough second half. He had a quiet first half. It was very unlike him. I was like, geez, he's human. Like, he's human. He's actually having a quiet first half. Buckley did fine. Like, I thought it's same. Like, he frittered in and out of the game. That's what he does. Like, that's right. I've highlighted this about him in the first episode, that he will flash in and out of games. I thought it was more of the same. But he worked hard all day, and Hoggy gave him credit in the examiner today. Hoggy thought he had a good game. Hoggy thought he played well, so Hoggy knows more about it than me. But yeah, and fairness, the guy who was on there, Cork was about a foot over him. He didn't back down from the fight. He did not back down from him. He kept going, so he did alright. And he's a live option there in the half hour line in case we need him. And we won't probably need him because the four guys we have: Harnedy, Barrett, Healy, and Fitzy. But if we do need him, he's there. He can do it. Hugh O'Connor, I was very impressed with this guy. Very impressed. He worked through a pile of ball. His first touch is good. And he's got a bit of pace about him. But he's just one of those kind of guys who works hard and gets on a pile of ball. Now he has to work on his scoring efficiency and even getting shots off. You could see that, like, he couldn't even get strikes off. He made two great runs in the second half. And one of them he was going for goal and he got blocked, and the other one he was going for point and he got blocked. And he spilled the ball Tommy O'Connell gave to him. But that's just inexperience, that's just, he hasn't been playing at that level. Again, Patrick Horgan said that. He said that if you see a player not getting the ball off, it's because they're not used to having so small bit of time in the ball. So when he gets, like, who knows what the ceiling is with this guy? Like I said earlier on, like, when he gets up, load of training at inter-county level now, how good could this guy be? I was very impressed with him. It's just the amount of ball he's playing and the work rate and getting around the field, and he's just backing himself. And his first touch was good. It's just he was not getting a return for all his work. And we don't want to be one of those guys who's just playing ball after ball after ball and there's nothing going over the bar for him, or there's nothing coming off for him, or we don't want to be one of those guys. We want to be ruthless. But he's another option now going forward next few years. Jesus, it's very encouraging to think what we could be getting out of this guy. How good could he be? I'm excited about him now. And sure, Ben went after him for a reason. He was in the football panel. Ben obviously sees something in him and he went after him for a reason. And then Ben we trust. Who was the other one? Hugh O'Connor, that's half hour line dealt with. That's half hour line done. But forward line, Barry Walsh, he defined, like, he did quiet first half. There's no two other ways about it. Like, he man was well on top of him. And as I say, the ball going was not good. And of course, there was a new experience from him, like, playing at that standard. But you could see when he did win that one ball towards the end of the half, it was head down. He was going for goal, and he got fouled. He won us a free, and it was great to see Connolly and Fitzy and Tim O'Mahony went up to him, pat him in the back when he got that free. Just give him that bit of encouragement, as their leaders should be doing with young players in the team. Now, he had a great second half then, when he settled down and he got used to the standard that was there. We saw what he can do. And believe me, there's more in this guy. Now, there's more in this guy now that he knows what standard is, and when he gets used to it, he's going to be awesome for us. Please God, going forward for years. Now, I don't want to be putting pressure on this year, because he's still playing under 20. So if we don't use him this year, fair enough. But geez, he's well in the shout now for competition for places after the last day. Now, I said in the match preview, I said that he's got a burst of pace about him. I said he's set to be fast over the first 5 yards. And I asked the question, was it going to be the same at senior level? Because it's a different level of conditioning and athleticism at senior level compared to under 20. And we got our answer. We got our answer in fine style with that goal. Because, geez, he was gone like the clappers. God, he just, once he got in that ball, he was gone. There was no one stopping him. And he was only thinking goal, which is great. And this guy's going to become a fan favourite very quickly. The Cork public are going to love this guy, which is great. Because he's young, we'd always back our young guys. But he will go for goals, and fans will love that. He will win high ball. We need ball winners. And at the interview after the game, he just seemed like a fierce, nice, genuine guy. You know, he just had that air about him. He said, geez, he's a grand fella, like, you know? He just had that air about him. He seemed like a grand fella, sound-up fella. And the Cork public will love that. And I wish the guy the best, because he's been through a lot. And hopefully, this guy will be manning our forward line for the next 10 to 15 years. And best of luck to the lad. And hopefully, with a character like this guy, a paw like this guy has, and the hurling this guy has, we are lucky to have him. But best of luck to him. We're excited about him too. It was a great debut. Jesus, a great goal. And Jesus, we won the penalty as well. You know, great second half. Connolly, I'm kind of torn on Connolly, I really am. I was kind of concerned about him coming out of the ground now the last day. And then, you know, I thought he'd beaten to a lot of ball and he wasn't winning ball, it wasn't sticking. And then someone got on to me on Twitter that said he thought he played well. And I was kind of, geez, I don't know. So I started to rewatch the game to see yesterday. And in fairness to him now, he had a hand in all 3 goals. You know, and these goals won us the game. And that's why I used to be a big fan of him, because he's mad for goals. But just something about him, I think he's still not winning enough ball. But I was more encouraged after rewatching TV than when I was leaving the ground, because I was despairing about him when I left the ground. I was like, how did he last the whole game? He had a hand in all 3 goals, in fairness. He won the first ball and laid it off. That's what he wanted to do, winning the ball and laying it off. The 2 ones he set up then after that, he didn't win those balls. He was handed the one he set up for Barry Walsh. He was handed that ball. Sorry, not the third goal, but the penalty. He was handed that ball, he put it in high, and the one that Barry Walsh did score a goal, he just flicked it on. He didn't win that ball either, but still, he was on Mikey Butler, who's one of the best in the business, I suppose. But he's going to be marking good cornerbacks anyway. So I don't know, I was just quite torn on his performance. But his frees are very good. He did miss the penalty, of course, and he missed a bad 65, but the frees he did get were from tight angles. He had 2 in front of me now in the first half by our sideline, with great frees, and he'd one tough one in the second half against the wind over by the far stand by the sideline. These are pressure frees, and he got them, in fairness to him. So he's improving there. I don't know what we're going to do about the penalties. We missed 2 out of 3 now. And that's not up to intercounty standard. These guys are at such a level that they can put the ball anywhere they want with their eyes closed. So we just have to nail down the penalties. We'll have to settle on the penalty taker and nail it down. Because it could cost us. It could cost us 2 out of 3 legs. Not great. So yeah, they're the players, all the subs. Eaton Toomey did fine. It was interesting seeing him come in at wing back. But I see him as more of a half back now. Melrick did well. We know what we get from him. Great player. Adam Walsh, yeah, I was delighted for this guy. Delighted for him. Like we've seen the rest of the club championship time and time again, just grabbing balls out of the air and going for goal. He's mad hungry for it, I'd say. He's fierce enthusiastic. He'll back himself. And he's asking Ben the right questions. He's saying, hey, this is what I can bring to the table now. Don't you forget about this. I want more than garbage minutes here. I can grab these balls and stick them in the net. So that's what he had to do. And he went in there and he did it. Just saying to Ben, hey, come on, more game time here, buddy. This is what you're missing out on. And fair play to the lad. And it was a great catch. And I said, I tweeted coming up to the game that, geez, we had a lot of half forwards out missing. So I was thinking, Jesus, we put Buckley out in the half forward line. And I was thinking, who playing for forward line? So, and I mentioned, will we see the twin towers? Will we see Hayes and Alan Walsh? Will we see the twin towers? And we didn't get to see him, but we did see him for the goal. Because when you look at the goal, the ball went in and all the attention was on Hayes, one of our towers. And they left your man, to go up there and pluck the ball out of the sky and bury it in the net. Because Hayes was taking the attention. And we had our second tower there that you also have to keep an eye on. It's hard to keep an eye on too. So that's what he's bringing to the table now. 2 target men. And his hurling is raw. There's no questioning that. I've seen enough at club level and recently to know his hurling is raw. He needs improving that. But so is Hayes'. Hayes was the same when he came into the panel. His hurling was raw too. And look where he is now 2 years later. So who knows, this guy, 2 years on the panel, get a lot of hurling into him. He could be big for us. So good luck to the lad. And fair play in that goal. It won us the game. The goal won us the game, basically. It's a great finish. I think I've got to all of it there now. All the players. Just on Ben. Yeah, he did well. He did fine. He had him ready to go. He had him up for the fight. He was delighted with the performance. And I liked his comments afterwards. And I think his substitutions were good. Robbie Flynn came on. He did fine. Trying to think anything else there now. about the display. I don't think so. Got her 40 minutes. Jeez, I didn't expect to be 40 minutes of this now. I'll give the club scene there to 10 minutes there now. We'll get onto it there now. Okay, the league should be up there now on the screen. The league section should be up there now on the screen. Now, the big one here, of course, is the opener. League opener. I'm great. It's delighted to put it in on a separate night. Just to open up the league. Give it its proper opening on the lights. That's a great idea. Friday night, SARS versus the Glen out in SARS. I might try to get out to that myself. If it's not pissing rain, I'll try to get out to it. And that bloody tunnel, of course. Jeez, the tunnel's always blocked up these days. Every time there's accidents on the N40. It's bloody hard to get out there. That'll just be... You don't know if this game, like SARS, probably went back late, like, because they won the county and they were in Munster. They did the same last year. They went back late. And these guys met in the league last year in the Glen. I was at it. And you could see SARS in the much work done because they went all the way to the All-Ireland final and the Glen beat them. Glen were well up for it that night. They wanted to play it on a marker. They were just back out of Senior B, like, so they obviously wanted to get ahead of things early in the season. Now the Glen have Donal O'Rourke, Ducky O'Rourke on the sideline this year. And they've Ian Jones involved as well in their S&C. Hoggy obviously got these guys involved. But they're not going to be around either early in the season because they're involved with Waterford and they're involved with Cork. So I'd say the Glen mightn't have much work done either. So I don't know how that one's going to go. SARS will be favourites, of course. Now they have a lot of young players coming through. They were in the last 2 minor finals. So will we see any of those guys, I wonder? Or will they stick with the guys they have? Will we see Jack O'Connor and Daniel Hogan, these guys playing? The Glen will have Hoggy, of course. They'll be missing the Downies. They'll have Owen O'Leary and all these guys in Kennefic, and they had 4 or 5 under 19s in the team last year, so they'll all get game time. Brosnan and Conor McCarthy and these guys. So yeah, that should be a good game. I'm going to try to get out to that one. I won't get to see any of the games on Sunday. Just look at them there now. Charlotte, Carricktool. So anyone coming home, if anyone's staying in Limerick Saturday night, you could stop at that on the way home in Charlotte at 11:30 on your spin home. Killing Douglas, Killer up in Division 1. That's good for them. That's good development for their young hurlers there now to be up in Division 1. I didn't know that. The Middleton Father Neils, that'll be a good game. That'll be a good one now. Middleton will be strong, of course. Father Neils will be missing Mellerick and Dalton, but they'll love a crack at Middleton. Like, they all got to school together, those guys. There'll be no love lost there. I'd say that'll be a good one. And then you have the Southside Derby then. Bars and Blackrock. That's another big one. Blackrock have had the Indian sign over the Bars there now the last couple of years. They beat him well in the championship last year inside Parky Rin. I was at it. And they beat him well in the league as well last year. And the thing about Bars is they have 5 guys involved in the Cork panel. That phrase that was going around, 5 Bars, no SARS in the Cork panel. So how many guys, those guys at Bars, going to have on Sunday? Like, I assume they won't have Brian Hayes and they won't have William Buckley. They probably won't have Ethan Toomey. They might have Damien Callan and they might have Ben Cunningham. Like, I hope Ben leaves the guys go now who are not playing Saturday night or who don't get much game time off the bench. I hope he lets them play on Sunday now. Lets their hurling develop. Pat Ryan was good for that. In fairness to Pat, he let the guys play the club games if they weren't getting club time or inter-county time. So you might see Ben Cunningham get some minutes and you might see Damien Callan get minutes in that one. I still fancy Blackrock there though. They just have it over the Bars there recently. Last few years, like Blackrock are strong. Like, they mightn't have much inter-county guys, but they are strong. They'll have Robbie Cotter, of course. They'll have him all season now. He's not in the Cork panel. And they have another guy to watch out for, who I like. His name is Fionn Coleman. He's a big boy. Like, he was in the Cork 20 panel with Ben, alright. In one of those years, he didn't get much game time under him, but he was in training with them. And he's at to spring you up. He's a big boy now, like, and he's another guy who's mad for goals. Like myself, I love goals. And he's mad for goals as well. He's a left-handed player, but he's big and he's strong. He's clearly doing the conditioning work. I have good time for him. The only thing about him is he's another guy who wants to play inside. So they already have Robbie Cotter and they already have Anne Connolly. They all want to play inside, and he's another one. So a lot of the time he gets shifted out to the half-hour line because he's big, but he's not good out there. He doesn't win enough ruck ball out there, but he's very good inside, because if he gets the ball inside, he will put the head down and go for goal. And because he's so big, he's hard to stop. I like him. I wouldn't be against Cork if you look at him coming down the line. So let's see how he gets on at the weekend. He had a lot of injury problems last year too, so hopefully he gets to injury free. So yeah, definitely the pick of those ones is a Friday night game. And as I say, if you can get out and support your own local team, do it. If you can't and you want to go to a neutral game, that Friday night game is going to be a big one. And there's a bit of need between these two clubs as well. There's no point in denying it. And the pick of the Sunday games, you have the East Cork Derby there, and you have a Bars Blackrock Derby. Now the pick of the games for me, if there's one game I could go to this weekend, I go to this one, but I can't. I'm Sunday, so I won't be able to make it. It's this one here in Division 3. Corsi Rovers and Ballinhassig. That's the game to go to. If I was to recommend you to go to one game, that's the one. That's the right Carricktool derby, or Carrickdown derby there now. Two tough teams, two tough clubs. They'd like crack off each other. I'd say Corsi probably will be favourites, even though Ballinhassig won the Premier Intermediate County last year. Courses will probably still fancy themselves. They were in a relegation playoff last year. They're going to be in the same division this year. But Ballinhassig won't fear Courses or won't like them. Courses won't like Ballinhassig either. That'll be the game to go to this weekend. It's in Division 3. If Aero Castleline should win that. Mine Blarney should win that. And if Inniscar, Russell Rovers, Inniscar should win that. Let's have a look at Division 2. I'm just going to look at the first 3 divisions, I think. Ballinbartle and Ballincollig. Kanturk, Carrigaline. Oh, Newtown and Aaron's Own. That could be good. It'd be good on that. Again, that's another one you could stop off if you're staying up in Limerick Sunday night. Newtown, pop in the way home, 11:30. On the way home on Sunday. Playing Aaron's Own. That's a repeated relegation final last year. That went to a replay. 2 good games. That'll be a good one. Bride Rovers and Valley Rovers. Bride Rovers should be too strong there. The Pearson Noosestown. It's a hard one to call as well. That's on 2 o'clock. Yeah, and it's one thing to pity a lot of these games are on at the same time. But this one here is on 2, so people might be able to make that. And the one thing I'll say with the league games that drives me cuckoo, and I hope the county board get on top of it, is you go to a lot of these league games, and there'll be no scoreboard working. It drives me insane. So no one knows the scores in the grounds, and people go down to the sideline at half time trying to figure out the score, and then you're up on the bank, and you're like, are they 3 ahead, or are they 4 ahead, and no one knows who's winning the game, what the score is. And it's a simple thing, just get people to work the scoreboard. We have them for championship, we should have them for league as well, and the county board should be insisting that clubs have their scoreboards working. It's a small thing. Like, there's only 2 bloody competitions for clubs. It's the league and the championship. So they both should be treated equally and fairly. So get your scoreboards working down the clubs. Just drives me insane when I go to these games and you don't know the score, especially in hurling. The ball's flying over the bar the whole time. And it'll be an easy thing for the county board to monitor. The referee writes in his report that there was no scoreboard working. Simple as that. And then if he writes in his report the second time they have a second home game and the scoreboard doesn't work the second time, then you lose a home game next year or something like that. Come down, these clubs now are not running a scoreboard. It's just not acceptable. It's not good enough. So I hope they are, and I hope they get down top of them. That's the one thing I would say. But yeah, there'll be some enjoyable games there now. I'll just have a quick look at the other divisions. 7 divisions. Division 4. Yeah, we have time. We're at 40, what are we? 47 minutes. Ballyhay, Kildare. That's an Avondhu derby there. Ballyhay should be too strong there. That's a local derby there. Clodove, Bollock. That'd be a good one. That would be a good one now. I'd still go to the Carrigaline derby, but that one will be juicy as well. Mallow, Bishopstown, St. Catherine's, Watergassil. That's a local derby there, but Watergassil will be too strong for them. They should be too strong for Catherine's. That Clodove, Bollock one could be a good one. That'd be a tasty one. What else do we have? I didn't know they were playing now. Glencline, Kilbritton, Middleton, Yalden, Gorney here. The second teams come into these. They're usually later, but they're on the Saturday. And 6. Yeah, a lot of second teams here. Yeah, alright, the last one. So yeah, a couple of juicy games. I hope the leagues go well. You get to see some talent around. People shine. Barrow. Yeah, alright, I think I'm done there now. I spent 40 minutes a game. I didn't expect that long. We just gave the leagues 5 minutes. I will try to get to the game on Friday night and fill you in that. The Sarah's Glen game. Could be good. Yeah, and I will be back next week. The Jolly Green Giant. I'm going to go to that game up in Limerick on Saturday. That should be good. The start of a trilogy. Anthony Daly was saying, we'll be meeting 5 times already this year. He's building this up already. He's building up Limerick Cork. He was saying in his podcast that, they could meet 5 times. You wouldn't know. The Munster final and the All-Ireland final as well. But we're definitely going to get a trilogy now. We're definitely going to play in the league final, and we're going to play in Munster. And I hope they're epics. Like, I can't see either of them going easy next Saturday. I just think John Kiley loves going hard against Cork. He's the one team that we get under his skin, and rightfully so, because we beat them. We stopped the drive for 5, and we took the Munster Championship off them last year in their own backyard. We are the one team who's standing up to them and matching them over the last few years. So when he wants to go out, when he plays us, he wants to go out and lay down a marker. And we saw that in the Munster League game earlier this year, where we had practically our C team out, and they had 7 or 8 of their first teamers out, and they walloped us up in the Gaelic ground. So he just loves to stick you in and keep us down. And I think he's going to look to do the same again on Saturday. Now, they are not qualified yet either, and neither are we. Obviously, we have to get the homework, we have to get Offaly taken care of. But like, if they lost, then they'll go up to Galway. They're playing Galway in the last game. That's a must win then. So they'll want to get into the final as soon as possible. So they'll want to beat us at the weekend. And the 2 panels are so strong anyway at this moment. If the teams rotate, you're still going to get some great players in there, and you're going to get some great battles. Because those two panels are probably the strongest in the country at the moment. So I don't see either team going easy, and Ben has already stated he wants to win every game. And he's living up there by the Limerick border. So Limerick probably one team he wants to go out and beat. So I think it's going to be a good game. Limerick at home, alright, they might pip us, but sure, I don't really care. We're in the league final now. I'd say we'll take care of Offaly. I don't think it's a great thing that we're in the league final. I'd rather be out of it. But geez, when you go to these games, then you obviously want to win. I didn't want to lose against Kilkenny when I was there last weekend, and I won't want to lose Saturday night either. When you're at these games, you obviously want to win. Of course, you back your team. But I just don't like the timing of the league final. I think it's too close to Tipperary game. And it'll be a nice advantage for Tipperary, I think. We don't want to be giving them any advantages. Alright, yeah, so I'll give you the rub down on what I thought of that as well. Like I always say, it's different when you see it, when you're there in the stand, as to when you see it on TV. Like I thought it was a great game when I was at it. That Kilkenny game, and I really enjoyed it. And then I was looking at the TV and it kind of looked scrappy. But it was always going to be scrappy in the conditions, but you didn't see that it was kind of really scrappy, and when you were at it, you just saw a real battle in front of you, a real fight. And it was great, I enjoyed it. And we won the fight, that's the most important thing. We won the game. Keep the problem the main problem, will be my motto for the year. Keep the problem the main problem. What's our problem? We've got to win. We've got to win a certain amount of games, so we get up the steps and bring Liam McCarthy home, which would be great. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Please like, share, subscribe, get it out there. Share it, enjoy it. I hope you listen to it and contribute. If you disagree with me with things, I'm delighted to hear it. If you agree with me, that's great too. This is a place for discussion, and I welcome it. Debate is healthy. So yeah, thanks for listening, and get it out there. I'd much appreciate it. Right, so long guys. Enjoy your week, and I will be back next week after the Limerick Cork showdown.